in Albuquerque, like one of the top three,
one of
right?
them, yeah, because it was, you had KISS 97.3, 94 Rock, 92.3 KRST Country and Rock. Those are the monsters. Those are the monsters. And you have KNW, which was New Mexico Music.
Yeah.
And then there's just a variety of other stations. There's KKOB AM too. That was news, and they were always high in the ratings too. But I love. That's speaking of creative talents. I love all the DJs. Talents and what they could do and how they could speak and how their show went.
Did you like Larry Aarons?
There was nobody I have disliked.
Oh, that's cool, man.
I've gotten along with everybody. I've seen that potential and that creativity and that talent in everybody. I don't worry about the other horses. I'll tell them, hey, that's that's a nice saddle and those are nice horseshoes. But when the race is about to start, I put on the mask and I just do what I got to do.
Really good, man.
I just got, but I don't. I can't be arrogant in a way. I can't not talk to somebody. I'm just that dude, man. I like to have that heart of gold, and I like to really lift people up, because when the hell do you see anybody, especially our people, Chicanos, keeping us down? You know what I mean? No. That's rare that it happens. You'll never see if I see a Chicano president before I die, I will be fucking amazed. Because
yeah, I'm trying to think. There's a
majority of the census, and there's still...
There's nobody at the forefront now. Maybe that's...
there was Cruz, and who was the other dude? There was two of them, Republicans.
I would do it myself,
at
but the Grindr pictures would come out. So I don't want that to happen.
The Diddy parties and the baby oil.
The Diddy parties.
You'd get caught, man. You'd be like, oh, yeah, with my record, I'm like, oh, yeah.
Who's some really cool people that you met?
Probably one of my favorites of all time, and it was completely unexpected as a rapper, was LL Cool J.
Oh man, that's cool.
I got invited with my buddy Ricky, man. Big shouts out to Rick, man. He was working with Jackson's Gym at the time, and LL was going to go see the gym, and he wanted a little tour, and he invited Ricky to go to the show, which we were doing, of LL Cool J at Route 66, right? Yeah. Well, we didn't have a meet and greet with LL. He was doing some private meet and greets with the tribe and all that, and I didn't. We weren't gonna go meet him, but Rick was like, "Oh, hey, you want to come back with me, you and your girl?" And I'm like, yeah. And my girlfriend at the time was just like head over heels over LL. So he's like, "You want to come back?" And we're like, "Hell yeah!" And I was like, and I just stood there, dude, and I was like, "Oh." And my girl's like, "Oh my God, I want to take a picture of LL," and all the girls are going crazy, and Z-Trip, the DJ's there with him, and Rick, they're all taking pictures. And I'm just looking at him, and I think it was deeper for me because me and him went through similar things with our fathers, and I read his book. Yeah. And so all these things were just rushing through my head. Mama says, knock you out, huh? And I was thinking about the Kango hat and the stereo and how I started loving hip hop. And this dude was one of the forefront dudes that I started with. Yeah. You know what I mean? KRS-One, Busy B, him, Ice-T, Ice Cube, NWA. And I was like, oh my God. And then, they were like, it's your turn. And I'm like, my boy LL, and I'm like, Lisa, Angela, Pamela, Renee, and he's just laughing, and I have it filmed, and he was just so cool. He's like, man, and I go, dude, 13 albums, oh my God, like, I can't believe, how happy and excited I am to meet you.
He was really overjoyed.
Yes, it was. Yeah. So, but he was so cool. He said, and we were all, okay, man. He's like, where you going, man? We're gonna have a party for Z-Trip. Stay and hang out with us. And that just meant a lot.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
So that meant a lot. And I think LL probably has the title, man. And him and J. Cole was cool. Ice Cube, they've had their moments in the sun with Ice Cube and Snoop because they have such, strict. Rules with their they have to,
They have like a whole corporation.
And everybody wants to meet Snoop and Ice Cube. And I've met them. I have been so blessed beyond measure. But that's me. Yeah. I'm a celebrity, like crazy freak, man. I have autographs. I've done like meet and greets. I've hung out with them. I've interviewed them. I'm opened up for them as comedians. Like I was just born to entertain. That boy got talent, when I see Rides, which I just saw. And Eddie Murphy was the reason that I got into comedy because I would listen to Cheech and Chong. I would listen to Steve Martin. I would listen to George Carlin. I would listen to all these phenomenal comedians. Yeah. But Eddie Delirious, that was it.
Oh yeah, that
You know
was
what I mean?
definitely one of the all-time, right?
Yeah. And I had already had this fever from Charlie Chaplin. My dad showed me a Charlie Chaplin movie when I was like 8 years old, and I go, that's what I want to do. I want to be an actor. I want to be on the TV. I want to be in a movie. I want to be funny, and I want to make people laugh. That was when I was a kid. So my dream was to be an actor, which I just became.
Oh, what did you film?
I finally got my SAG-AFTRA card. I'm officially an actor.
Oh, nice! Congratulations!
So that's, the dreams that have came true. I'm very grateful and blessed. I'm thankful, but I want other people, man, to succeed and make those dreams come true. My radio dreams can come true. Hitting 20 on KISS, being an actor, being a stand-up comedian, man. Getting ready to open up for Russell Peters.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Dude, I'm psyched, and I'm
cool.
like, dude, you got to kill it for these 5 shows, and I'm pumped because these are people that I looked up to. And it's not only just the big people I look up to. Like, I see you and I'm like, dude, John's badass. I call you out of the blue. I'm like, John, bro, we got to do something together. Or when are you going to come do Vernon's? Like, I'm like, dude, I know you got talent. I know you're a badass, bro. I know you like to do this. I love seeing everybody bring out the best in them. I know, and to me, man, I'm the biggest hype man when it comes to anybody's talent.
Well, it's cool now that we have some stuff to be hyped about in Albuquerque. I mean, we have Casadas, we have Dry Heat, we have the Box for Improv.
Yep.
We have what's the place that's
now they're doing the Block. And then they have, there's a bunch of the breweries. There's the Brew Lab. There's so many different things.
There's that place on
and
Wyoming.
Then there's supposedly going to be Hyenas one day. That's another one in Uptown, which I think every single one is far away from each other. So there's no threat and more work for everybody. There's so many great talents.
Plus, with having a lot of comedy around, a lot of venues, a lot of opportunities, a lot of open mics, that's really how a scene develops. That's how you get these great stories. Maybe not everybody gets famous, but everybody has an opportunity to do their art. And I believe if you're doing comedy to get famous, that's cool. If you're doing it for money, you might want to get a day job too.
I get paid all the time, and I'm like, oh yeah, I get paid. Because I love radio. I love comedy. I love being on an actor set.
That's the key.
And learning all these things. That's what I want. I wanted to be an anchor, to tell you the truth. I went to school to be an anchor. This is Anthony Garcia with Action 7 News. Back to you.
Who's your favorite anchor from back in the day? Was it Johnny
Dick
Morris?
Niffy, Nelson Martinez, bro.
Can I tell you my
Cynthia
brush
Isaguirre,
with celebrity with Dick Niffing?
You got to tell me the Dick Niffy story,
I was working at Dion's when I was about 20 years old, and Dick Niffing came up to the counter, and he was like asking for something. And I said, hey, I helped him, and then I was like, you're Dick Niffing, right? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, I really enjoy your reporting. At least you're not like that weasel Larry Barker. And he goes, Larry Barker is one of my best friends. And he turned around and walked away. And I really like Larry Barker. I was just making a joke, and I was 20, and so I was an asshole.
I mean,
but I love him too, Johnny Morris.
Dude, what was another one?
Mary Roper,
Howard,
the Duck.
Yeah, let's see what kind of story Howard's got for us today. The weather dude that made the Suns.
Howard Morgan.
I was gonna say Johnson Morgan.
Morgan.
Dude, the little Suns that he used to make when you're a kid, you're like, that's the coolest weatherman
that
ever.
Was very cool.
Yeah, so you have a bunch of different. So that like being an anchor, but you know what? I have talked to anchors over the years, and I will tell you all of them, and I'm not going to mention any names, all of them have told you, just stick to radio, man, because to me, news is very, very hard, and I don't think I'd have as much fun because it's 29 and a half minutes of negative, serious news, and then it's 30 seconds of a baby giraffe was born at the zoo today. His name is Skip, Andy. Alan, his name's Alan. Good night. Goodbye. That's the only positive thing we have to say to you. You know what I mean? But it's gotten better. They do like, where they're giving people money, they're recognizing great people in the community. I'm not saying it's always that, but it's very, they have to report, the stories that are very, very harsh.
Tonight's news: 17 people were killed in Gaza in a bombing. Yeah. Steve Martinez has more details, and then they go to
yeah.
like the national guy, right?
Yes.
And you're just like, who wants to do that?
There's
all
so many,
day,
yeah.
right?
There's so many things that, it's so they say it's a lot more. And I have a friend. She's an anchor. She says, man, I have to be working, man. I have to get up early, and I have to be there, and it's hard.
Do they have to write their own script
yeah,
too?
They have to
and
study,
be like, this
do
is
all
what
their
I'm
own.
gonna say.
You know. What Andy
I would
Allen's
like that
doing
part.
over here, man. He's scoping for us on everything we bring up, man. So he has to be like, damn,
He does a great job.
you know.
Of that.
Yeah, he's great.